Hello and welcome back to Ka Iking Live. I'm still your host, Agustin, but we have as our guest in the second segment, Mr. Daniel Pena, originally from Florida,
Correct.
from Spanish ancestry,
Correct.
but already American and now a citizen of the world.
Yes, that's also correct.
And I understand you already reside most of the time in Scotland?
I live in Scotland and here. I've had a home here for 6 years.
Okay, so partly Filipino already.
Correct.
Okay, familiar with the Filipino culture.
Getting more familiar every day.
Okay, we invited Mr. Pena tonight because he has this great project, Innovation Hub, which will give the chance to many prospective Filipino programmers and developers to create something, invent something in software.
Correct.
Right? Tell us more about it, Mr. Pena.
It was our idea a few months ago to start a center here in the Metro Manila area for creative young programmers, software developers, what I call geeks, to give them a home where they have a free atmosphere to innovate, create, a safe atmosphere, a free atmosphere in our new Penthouse offices for iHUB, owned by iZone, in the Ortigas area. And it's going to be where they can bounce ideas off like-minded individuals. And we're looking for, ideally, a new Zuckerberg, a new Gates, etc.
Wow.
And we will provide for them this safe environment 24/7.
You forgot Jobs.
Well, I forgot Jobs. Well, may God rest his soul. Yes, I forgot Jobs.
Yes.
But there's many others, not just those guys. And we believe very strongly that given the right tools and the right spark, we can get that kind of creativity out of them.
They're here. They're here. There are many of them here.
Well, I look forward to meeting them.
Thank you. Well, we'll find several for you. But thank you for doing this.
Well, you're
this
very
could
welcome.
Be a big break for our people.
Well, we hope to make it work very, very strongly. And as it works here in the Ortigas area, we're already looking at places in Cebu and other major centers in the Philippines.
Well, there are schools like Ateneo, for instance. They have
Correct.
campuses all over the country. La Salle has 17 campuses. But you don't have to limit yourselves to these well-known schools. We also have about 200 state-owned universities, and you might be able to find talent there too.
I hope so.
Yes, and we have the independent computer schools such as AMA, STI, Informatics, and IETI. There's plenty of them. Yes.
Well, we've been told some of those that you just mentioned are. My staff has already made me aware of them, and so we're tapping into the educational base because we think that once they're exposed to our idea, that we should get a conduit of a lot of smart kids that have great ideas that we can help make some of them commercial that deserve to be commercial and show them how to monetize them if they choose.
Yes. Well, the kids who could afford the better schools surely go to the higher schools, better schools. But those who could not afford the better schools, does not mean that they don't have talent. They have talent too.
Sure.
Except that they don't have the break. And you're the one giving that break.
Correct. I was poor. My father was a policeman. My mom was a housewife. So and I didn't go to one of the fancy schools in America, although I did go to university. But we've been involved in charities here in the Philippines. We support several orphanages. We support kids, and we thought that this was a natural extension of our IT business with our charitable work to support young entrepreneurs that are looking for a break. Just as I got a break many, many years ago, we know that we can find the right kids with the right mix and the right talent, in addition to our own existing staff, that give them the right push or pull, whatever they need, to help them succeed.
Well, are you familiar with the thin line between the black hats and the white hats?
Correct.
Sometimes it's just money, economics.
Correct.
And if you're offering a good opportunity like this, some of them might cross over from the dark side.
I hope so. I hope so.
I think I know who they are, where they are.
Well, I look forward to you assisting us, and we would want anything that you can do for us would be appreciated.
Well, Onel de Guzman, are you familiar with the name?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I was part of the team that tracked him down.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
We found him, but you know the lesson I learned from that experience. He's good because he knows most of the languages, even the old languages that nobody uses anymore, like assembler, machine language. He knows it. That's how good he is. But I realized there are many more like him, and he was not working alone. Okay, so even if others would say that he's a genius type and he's one of a kind, no, there are many more like him around here, and that was many years ago.
well, I look forward to meeting them.
You know, Filipinos, if they're not singing, they're dancing
Or eating.
or eating or cracking jokes.
Yes.
You know, somewhere there's a good blend of intelligence quotient and emotional quotient, and somehow this blend of Spanish and Chinese and Indian blood and Malaysian, this has created something. Okay, that is why you go abroad, maybe as far as Scotland, you will see Filipinos singing and dancing.
Correct.
Right?
Well, when my wife and I go on cruises or we go to Singapore, there's always Filipinos singing and dancing. They're either working on the boat, or they're working in a restaurant, or they're working in a bar entertaining people.
Well, I guess it's easy to learn the technical side, but the creative side, that's something that's really hard to learn. That's something that's acquired. It might even be in the genes.
Perhaps. And but so far our experience has been good here in the Philippines, and we made a great financial commitment here with iZone. My wife and I and our other partner have lived here for several years. We have no intention of leaving. We've been in business in South Africa, India, the United States, and we like it here. I like the climate. It's good for my arthritis, and it's close to other parts of Asia that we have interests in: China, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Korea, Japan. So it's centrally located for us, and so we know that iHUB, given the right initiatives, will succeed, and we're looking forward to once a month finding a young Filipino that has an idea, to give him a prize, and once a quarter to have a slightly larger prize. And if they need advice on commercialization, we'll give it to them. But we're not there to take their ideas. We're only there to help them spawn the ideas, help them sponsor the ideas. And if they need assistance, we're there to help them.
Well, I think you're a good person.
Thank you.
And I think these kids can sense that. I have to forewarn you that you may have to do a lot of motivation work.
Well, we're ready to do it.
But the raw material is there.
Well, so far we've seen that, and we're looking forward to meeting more and more people.
Now let me ask you something. Are you biased towards open source or towards commercial tools?
I like open source.
You like open source?
I like open source, yeah.
You're not crazy about it?
No, well, I'm too old to be crazy about anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm too old to be crazy about anything. My experience has been that whenever in my 40-plus years career, whenever I've gone overboard on something, it wasn't necessarily the right thing to go overboard on. So, but I like open source because it's inexpensive. It's inexpensive for the other people that don't have the time or the money to create it themselves. And there's certainly a lot of open source stuff available right now. I mean, a lot of it. We use a lot of it ourselves.
There's a lot of them in the open source community.
Correct.
And it's actually a good place to start.
Correct.
Because that means that they're good.
Correct. I agree with you.
All right.
I agree.
Some of them can produce raw codes from nothing.
That's correct also.
And that's the kind of person you're looking for.
Well, that's part of the scheme that we're looking for, but we're also looking for people that can take some direction, because not everybody has the inception of an idea to be able to make it come to fruition. Some people can take somebody else's idea and make it come to fruition.
Of course,
So
yes.
we're looking at the full
So you're
spectrum.
willing to work with teams?
Correct. Yes, we
Well,
are.
some of them can work better in a team.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more.
All right. Are you biased towards OS, any OS, Apple, Android?
No,
Microsoft?
Again, no, I'm not biased towards anything. We're looking for opportunities wherever they might be, and we're not so biased in any specific area to think that we have all the answers. We have a lot of answers because we've been at this a long time. But I mean, every day, every week anyway, maybe not every day, somebody comes up with a new idea, and we're interested in exploring it and seeing if it makes sense for us. Now, all of the ideas that we're going to get aren't going to make sense for us. But if they don't make sense for us, we'll push them in the right direction towards the right conduit for them so they can be successful, whether it's with us or with somebody else.
But you are looking at the apps market, are
Oh,
you?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you, of course, you know what's going on in that market now.
Yes.
Okay. So either which way to go.
Well, I mean,
it goes Apple, it goes Android, it goes Microsoft, or Sony.
yeah, or Sony. But there's a lot of possibilities. The problem or the challenge with the apps market is there's everybody and their brother has got an idea for an app. Okay, and only a very, very small fraction of them make any money, and only even a smaller fraction make any money that's worth commercializing or
That's
or
why
rolling
they
out.
need you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You have a feel of the market.
Yes, correct. And so we've had our own apps team, and I have other mentees in other parts of the world, in Europe and the United States, that are working strongly and very hard on apps, and some have been successful. My own 29-year-old MBA son, who is a senior manager at a big healthcare company, has got his own ideas about apps. Everybody's got an idea about apps. Even I had an idea about apps. So we're exploring them, but I mean, it's not easy to separate the wheat from the shaft, because there's a lot of ideas. I mean, right now as we speak, a person that has an idea here in the Metro Manila area about an app, there's a guy in Belarus that has the same idea. So the competition is fierce.
They could even work together.
They could, if we could put them together. We don't know. I might not know the person in Belarus, whereas we do know the person here in Metro Manila.
Would you like to hear my theory about the lab bag?
Sure.
Okay. I've been telling people about this, but no one has bought the idea. Maybe you can be the first to buy. I think the lab bag is the antithesis of Linux. Why? The good guys keep on improving Linux. Linux is good for society. What are the bad guys doing?
Well, the bad guys are doing a lot of things, but I mean, you mean vis-a-vis...
They're doing viruses.
Correct.
I think the lab bug was the product of several bad guys until it got to O'Neill.
Okay, that's an
He was
interesting
the
theory.
last one to get hold of this, and he made it better in the sense that it became worse. But the lab bug, I think, did not stop with him. It's still out there, and people, the bad guys, are still improving it.
Well, I'm sure that's correct.
Okay, so when you have teams working here in Manila, and you have teams of your company working elsewhere, maybe they could, if they work together, they could produce an app that's super duper.
Yes, that's one of the possibilities, and that's one of the things we're looking at. We're looking at a collaboration of ideas, not just here in the iHUB offices, but wherever we have personnel and ideas coming from. So we could have a collaboration. We could, stretching it a little bit, we could have a worldwide collaboration.
Yes. And I think the bandwidth around Ortigas is good.
Yes, but it's pretty good. It really is.
Have you tested it?
Yes, we have.
Yes, you shouldn't have problem with fiber over there.
No, it's working pretty well.
Yes, and it's a good community. There are coffee
Yes.
shops there.
Yeah, we like it there. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we like it very much. We've been there. This is I believe our fourth office here in the Metro Manila area.
Okay.
It's our second office it's actually our third office. iHUB is our third office in the Ortigas area. And we've had a couple offices prior in the first couple years we were here in Makati. So, but we like Ortigas. It's a good area.
So what's your expectation? How many Bill Gates, how many Steve Jacksons, Zuckermans?
We want to find one idea a month. One idea
Okay.
a month. And my goal for 2013 is to impact financially one Filipino a month. One a month. Now, what does that mean, impact? Does that make them rich? Not necessarily, but financially impact them. Some of these people are working out of their homes. Some are working out of their spare bedrooms and living at home still. Some are doing it while they still have a job someplace else. Unfortunately, some are doing it while they're working at someplace else, and they're cheating their boss out of their time by working on their project. We want to give them a home. Initially, we can seat about 50 people in iHUB.
I like that. Have you heard of Diosdado Banatao?
No.
He's a Filipino. He invented the graphics accelerator.
Oh, no, I'm
Windows
not aware.
graphics.
Really?
Yeah. GUI, graphical user interface, would not have taken off without the graphics accelerator.
No, I'm not aware of that.
That's him. Have you heard of Dennis Mindiola?
Yes, I haven't, but yes.
He's a friend of mine. He's the brains behind Chika.com. They sold it already, but there's now a young group of people hovering around him.
Well, we'd like to meet them. The more people that if you're kind enough to introduce us to, the better off we'll be, and the faster we can get traction.
I will do it just because you have a tilde in your name.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for my ancestors putting the tilde over my N.
That's our connection.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
good. I appreciate that.
So you may have a few minutes to talk more about explaining in your own language, in your own way, what this thing is all about.
Sure.
Maybe let me start it first. It's like an incubation center, right?
Correct.
There's one like that in UP now, but it's open to companies, not to individuals. I think you would be the first to open it to individuals, category of programmers and developers.
Correct.
What would be the minimum requirement? Would you
Well,
want them?
let me just back up a second. Let me differentiate because we've been compared in a few blogs to what you just described. That's at some of the big schools like UP. But there's two basic differences between the iHUB, iZone's-iHUB Center. Number one, it's free. All our events going forward are free. We're not charging any money. Now they have hackathons, etc., that are 24, 48-hour hackathons where they're sponsored, where you have to pay to get into the hackathon. Okay, we're going to have similar things. We're going to have a summit in February where it's free. Okay, that's number one. Number two, coming to the actual iZone-iHUB's center is free. The bandwidth, the Wi-Fi, etc. is free. It's also got free coffee, tea, etc., free air conditioning, and free security. Because I know a lot of the kids we were concerned about the security. The aside, and I really said this when we first opened the offices are so nice. It's a penthouse office. I should have the office, is what I should have, instead of having all these kids running around sitting on bean bags and playing ping pong.
Okay.
Okay, so it's free. And so whatever the events that we have going forward are going to be free. Next, once a month, when we have these competitions, for the lack of a better term, they're going to be based on where they submit an idea to our staff, and our staff will determine or ascertain which idea is worth putting forth to the board of directors. Okay. So they may put one idea a month, or they may put 2, 3, or 4 ideas a month. I'm hoping they put a lot of ideas a month.
Okay.
The board will then look at the idea, and we will ask, what are you asking us for? Are you asking us to see if it's commercial? Are you asking it to come up with a methodology to monetize it? What are you asking? Because everybody's got a different idea. So far, when we had our launch here about 10 days ago, I asked the kids that were there what their idea was, and some of the kids couldn't articulate what their idea was. A lot of the ideas were so localized, it might have worked in a province. They weren't even looking at making it work here in the Philippines.
Senor Pena, you have to promise to come back here because we have run out of time.
I understand. It's a hard break.
But thank you very much for
coming
coming
tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I hope to see you again.
I hope to see you again, and we look forward to your support.
All right.